will have their shot to take away some junglers away from Cuz, or perhaps some other picks. The ban of Jace against Khan is always a good idea. They go ahead and take away Elise as well.
They might be feeling like targeting Khan a bit more now that they are on blue side, as you say. As even though the Jax maybe didn't feel like it was as impactful as it appeared, the tools that the team played around him to make him strong were quite troublesome. Talia, I think, was one of the most annoying ones because of the way that he was playing. BDD, we were talking about how every time he pushes, he just moves slightly to one side to the other to make sure that he can always collapse, and the first pick is no surprise. Samsung absolutely love this pick for Crown. He had a pretty decent game one, but it just wasn't enough when you come down to facing so many tanks, so many people that are just jumping you 24/7. You never get enough breathing room to set up your Orianna ball to go for a great shockwave. That just was never available for you. Too many things flying around at the same time, and that is somebody cutting an orange. Why is he cutting an orange, Valdez?
Must be because I didn't get enough time to read that. I was actually looking for praise stats on Xayah. He's only, hold that thought. I'm still on the hunt.
I'll hold your thought and I'll
He's
take
1-1. Okay, 1-1. Only 2 games played on the Xayah.
But CoreJJ gets his famous Zyra back, and this champion can single-handedly win team fights. So we get to see what CoreJJ is going to be doing on this one, because similar to game 1, where Longzhu was playing comps to just throw everything at you, kill the backline immediately, you now have to deal with a Zyra that can single-handedly either disengage that entire endeavor or counter-engage and go for a sick play that with a knockup follows up into the chains of corruption, as well as shockwave. So while they are more fragile and easier to catch than Longzhu, they have just as many tools.
We got some spicy stats here on Gorilla. 2,972 assists in LCK. He's getting close to 3K, guys.
Dear Lord. Should we give him a golden mouse after that? I feel like those stats should be rewarded. No, like a play.
Isn't a golden mouse what you got for like winning OSL back in way back when, like 2003?
No, but you don't think that'd be a good? I think we should commemorate the players that reached the milestones of like
I think 100%,
kills, 1,000 assists, 3,000, whatever number.
Golden mouse is an idea, and well, BDD, he had his Talia taken away, but he will not have his Galio taken away, as he will first pick that going into the second picking phase.
But what will QV blind here? You know that he's up against a split pusher. There's no way they're going to put Khan on something that doesn't have kill pressure onto him, especially after committing BDD to Galio. If they don't go for a split pusher, they wouldn't have enough damage anyway, so he will just blind the Gnar again. Camille is out. Jax and Jace are out. Could it be a Fiora, possibly? I'm not too sure about that one. I think we might just see, no. Really?
No way.
Typically, that's been the support out of Gorilla, not Khan's AD carry.
Rakan top? No, I'm just kidding, but okay, they're going to send the Gragas top and give Cuz his Kha'Zix, so kind of interesting.
The girl that had that sign is going to be elated, to say the least, after seeing Cuz lock that one in. And need a clean up on aisle 3.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen Cuz what kind of plays he can make on the Kha'Zix, especially with the help of his buddy Khan and the support of BDD on the Galio. So they have that 3-man troop. They got the bottom lane with that very slippery Xayah and the help of her lover Rakan to keep her safe. But not all that much damage will come out of that lineup outside of the Xayah.
And it's a throwback to the start of the season when Galio was played and you had the Graves, the Kha'Zix in the jungle, the Lee Sins that could invade and get assisted by the Galio as a follow-up. And one of the strengths of Cuz as a Kha'Zix player have been those 1v1s, those invades. And if they can combine that with BDD's pressure in mid, as well as Khan's Gragas into the top side. We might get to see a map be split up, but Samsung once again with a near identical composition to game one. I think this time around we'll have a much easier time playing the team fights out as they have more tools to their disposal between Desire and Jarvan, whereas Longzhu, similar to the previous game as well, where they want to go for some wombos, no longer do they have a split pushing capability, but instead they have Cuz as the main man in the jungle.
He should be feeling pretty confident after Sejuani play, picking up his 3rd win on that champion. Now he brings out his 8-3 Kha'Zix, a big comfort pick into what could be the final game for Longzhu if they do take the 2-0 victory up against Samsung. So guys, the game is all loaded up. Let's hop onto the Rift once again for game number 2 of Longzhu versus Samsung. Whoa.
Sounds like they died for Samsung.
Samsung! She was going ham.
A worthy
holding
tribute.
Nothing back. A worthy tribute with that. To be fair, it was on that level. A die-hard Samsung fan, no doubt. Zaya going ham herself. Well, they've relied on Prey in the past to do the majority of their damage. I remember when it was 80 carry in 2017 lull. That was the meme.
Ah, yes. AD carries, the divas of League of Legends. The ones that always complain. Why champion's too weak, even though it's played in every single role? It's too weak, guys. I'm under. The tanks are too much.
Ooh, look at that clear.
No, but it got one stolen by BDD.
Oh, what?
Yeah, so he wasn't able to hit level 2 right away.
That sucks. Although, it still is going to be fast, and he hits 2 after that big raptor. Just not ideal, perhaps. Ambition's starting blue, and look at this, and engage at level 1. Look at Gorilla going ham as Core JJ gets extremely low, but he burns Ignite, trades the heal from Ruler on the opposite side.
So for this lane, all that Samsung have to do is try to remove as much of the kill pressure as possible. That means taking out any summoners that they can without dying themselves will put them in a favorable position for them to just continually harass. They have more wave clear, they have more harass, and it'll only get stronger as the levels progress. They just can't afford to die. One wants to all in, the other one just wants to farm. And as long as they can get past the all in phase, they'll be A-okay. And here we have Ambition making those early game moves in the Jarvan.
They're going to spot each other out here as Ambition lets go of the Rift Scuttler. Cuz going to get to work, but both of these guys thinking about a fight. Cuz really challenging him, saying, hey, come at me, bro. You really want to do it? You want to go?
They definitely do not want to do that. You don't want to be on Kha'Zix pretty much at no time. Only a select few champions in the right circumstances can do so.
So good spot out there by Cuz to immediately go over to the blue and see the Jarvan who is hanging around that bot side. Already a nice line of wards all around the river for Longzhu, as well as Cuz picking up the Rift Scuttler to give some extra vision.
So all that Longzhu wants to do is get to a position where their level 6s are on their solo lanes, and they can have Kha'Zix invade 24/7, shut down Ambition, get the Kha'Zix ahead, and have your solo lanes help you out, and perhaps transition into a dive into the bottom side when the time is necessary. Whereas Samsung, they don't have many opportunities onto the mid lane, not just yet. Level 6 is a good opportunity for it, but if BDD has the defensive items to stop Orianna from hurting him, he'll be fine. So Samsung will likely have to look towards the bottom side of the map, or maybe top, but from what we have learned from these two guys duking it up, is that they don't trade too much. They stay relatively healthy, and only in that game 1 where Khan got a bit too greedy with his leap strike did he end up suffering a 1v1 death.
Cuz he's waiting for Ambition. Good spotting there, good position by Cuz to deny that gank coming in onto his weak buddy BDD Galio in the mid lane. And Ambition, he's been shut down towards the bottom side. He's been shut down on a gank towards mid. He's been looking for these ganks, as a Jarvan is wont to do from the jungle, but he's been forced into just farming out all of his camps. Hasn't been able to do too much work in the lanes just yet.
He should be fine. I don't think that Samsung is too pressured to make anything happen in this early game. Remember, when it comes to the team fights, Cuz's isolation might be his undoing, as there's not going to be anybody to take down multiple members AoE-wise. You have Xayah that can only hit one person. Then you've got Kha'Zix, who needs the isolation. Then Gragas and Galio will have laughable damage at times when the magic resist itemization comes through. So they can't be looking for those 5v5s. And the later the game goes, the more likely you have those. So early should be in the favor of Longzhu.
Ruler with a not the most on-point piercing arrow. Went in between prey and the minion. That was low. So missing both in the process. He's probably aiming for prey. Here's Cuz in between Ambition and Crown. But he does have his leap as well as the flash available, so he feels extremely safe. Ambition making his way bottom side. There's not going to be a gank available. Cuz continues to get aggressive, looking for a gank here onto Crown. There's the cleanse being forced out. Can they get his flash? Not quite.
Just some minor damage, and this is likely what we're going to get to see until we hit level 6 from Galio and Kha'Zix invading nonstop. Not much is going to happen. That's just the way that these games work out. We're at the top. You know, the idea that two teams at the very top will not yield solo kills all the time is apparent. That they will be trying to make the best moves possible, and that means playing defense effectively. That means not just knowing what objectives to take, but how to defend your objectives properly and how to take something without giving anything in return.
You can see the vision that's all around the map. Ambition sees the ward that sees him doing Krugs, starts it anyway. Cuz goes back to his jungle, gets spotted on a couple of wards, and goes for his own Gromp. And BDD was slowly edging down towards the bottom side for a heroic entrance, but no opportunity made itself available for the bottom side of Longzhu. And we will continue farming, as is the way of the early games nowadays in LCK Summer.
It's like Farm Simulator 2002.
Okay.
Although by top.
He's getting aggressive onto Khan, as Khan does fight back nicely with the casks, saying, okay, you're doing this close to the turret, I can trade back a bit of damage.
But he never stood a chance of going for that engage. Kha'Zix was in the top side of the map, and as we have seen BDD do all the time, he was already rotating to the top side of the map, just in case he was needed to answer with his own ultimate.
Are they looking to surround? Okay, they found Ambition in the back. The heroic entrance comes after, or rather before the leap, and that means that no kill will come out onto Ambition, who does make it away.
Okay, so they commit the biggest tool that this composition have in the early mid.
Oh, ooh, okay.
Okay.
Ruler, he's got his glasses on sideways, so everything's just going haywire down here.
He didn't have the most accurate chains of corruption.
Oh, look at this engage, though. That Zyra is so weak. The heal coming out by those feathers. With the help of Ignite, will net Gorilla first blood. But here comes Crown. He's trying to get close. Does have that shockwave. It's going to be missed for now. No! The jukes out of Longzhu. At the end of the day, though, Prey will still go down. Oh, they make it look pretty as they die, as is the way of that lover's bot lane.
The hula hoop, like a gymnast class that you just don't know why you're there. Crown walks on down to the bottom side, and that should have been 2 kills for Samsung. That should have been a great punishment for them, but maybe some nerves, some miscommunication, whatever it may be. We're going to look at Longzhu, start that fight again. Jumping onto Zyra, easy peasy. The level 6 Rakan is just so quick in doing this. They look effortlessly do it. It's got to be the power of love that makes the power that moves so strong. And look at how quickly they both predict that from happening. Oh, jeez.
This is what happens when I play Orianna. That's why I don't play her anymore. So, Crown, though, I like what he was doing.
You do?
I like the idea of it. You know, obviously, it was a fantastic read by Longzhu bot lane, playing Gorilla. They've played a lot of games of League of Legends, or so I've heard. They've been around for quite a while. So, good mindset. At the end of the day, they only do lose one.
It's at least something that they're able to trade back a kill on the side of Samsung. And without Crown having flash, he will have a target on his back when it comes to dealing with BDD that has his own flash as well as Cuz. But the gold not spiking for anybody is still good for Samsung. They can play out these late game team fights as long as the shockwaves improve, and so do the Chains of Corruption. And the Stranglethorns, pretty much every ability has to be thrown out better. Oh, yeah.
Yep. This is what he's waiting for, but Crown, he knows. As you said, highest level of League of Legends, perhaps. Another mid laner would have just walked on up and died.
Yeah, we saw what Faker was doing.
It took me a split second to catch on, but yeah, our boy Faker going 0-4 in the series against BBQ, nonetheless.
Win's a win. That's all that matters.
Oh, that's what he's telling himself, no doubt. Okay, we got another engage, this time with the heroic entrance. It will knock up Ruler. Is there enough damage, though? Doesn't look like it. They cannot get him. The Chain of Corruption locks down Gorilla, and he dies under turret. A fantastic response by the bot lane of Samsung.
Look at how quick that engage happens. Holy crap, the engage is out of nowhere. The combo was so fast that it's impressive to see that Ruler and Core JJ responded accordingly and were able to take down Gorilla after that. The Chains of Corruption did so much work for them. And it's the ninja tabbies out of Ruler that keep him alive. Going with that defensive itemization made a difference. Who knows what could have happened in that previous game had he gone with tabbies on the Varus. He instead did have those Zerker Greaves, and when it came down to dealing with the Jax, it just was not enough. And maybe the answer is in the shoes.
He got his Nikes on. Cuz was looking for a rough gank in the top side against Gnar, who's playing very passive and does have Gnar's ability to leap away from danger. And so Cuz is just going to let that one go. Back to farming for that Void Monster. Oh, look at this engage, though. Just running straight into it is Gorilla. The Cataclysm, though, does lock down Ambition, and he cannot quite get the kill, although they do have him locked in behind the turret. Will they go for the dive? BDD immediately going for that teleport. Gonna miss the flag and drag and the root. Samsung not able to get the kill. And here's Khan with the TP. The flash forward with the taunt will miss, but it will not matter. Enough damage comes out, and Longzhu able to get a kill in the end of it. Here's Crown. Doesn't look like he can do much, though, in the end.
Mechanics are not in the favor of Samsung today. I think they could have killed him, or killed Gorilla, had Ambition waited for a couple more autos before comboing onto that Cataclysm right away. You can always use a Cataclysm when they're dashing away. You can trap him there. Instead, he uses that valuable auto attack time to get the Cataclysm in, and that could have made the difference. I can't wait to inspect that play with a microscope to see exactly what could have happened and if it was a good play. Now, obviously going for the catch is, but that dive in itself, you know that Gorilla's going to dash out of that. He's not just going to sit there and die. So let's take another look at that catch. A great flash, but yeah, a couple more auto attacks would have done the difference. I don't see why Ambition comboed right away. That should have been a kill.
It's a sense of urgency. We got to kill this guy immediately, but at the end of the day, that is what got them in trouble.
Imagine how easy it would have been if he had Cataclysm right now and just would have walked up, bam, oh, kill him into the turret. Easy as pie.
Very true. Bit of pressure, no doubt, for these guys who are making mistakes in small manners, but the best of the best teams will put you in danger because of your mistakes. Okay, here's that flash. There's that engage you were talking about. Ruler, my God.
Holy.
Goodbye.
Jesus.
As if he never existed, Crumbs.
He got a death wish. It's like a UFO came out and just sucked him right out of Summoner's Rift.
Zap. Goodbye. And now they are pushing for this turret. Before Cuz was able to hold the top turret against that Gnar, you can see that Longzhu's top turret is very low, but he could not put that push in. And so First Blood turret goes over to Longzhu in the bottom lane. They're making this Galio work wonders for them.
That's what we thought Longzhu was going to do. They're either going to invade with Kha'Zix into the jungle, pressure Jarvan, or go dive the bottom side of the map. They relentlessly dive bottom, and the Zyra and Varus are unable to make any use of their laning prowess. Instead, they're fodder for the bottom lane of Longzhu as well as the Gargoyle in mid. But with so much roaming from BDD, Samsung is not without a response. Taking down the mid-tier 1 is a pretty big bonus for them.
Ooh.
And now Khan is dead.
Locks it down. The flash coming in. Khan is tankier than you would imagine. The brick is not going to hit him. And Khan survives somehow, some way. And that also means that the turret will survive for now.
And the swap is first there from Longzhu. The first swap means that the vision is established before anybody else. And vision before means that they will maintain pressure in this lane once again, which is going to prime them for more dives. So what we saw on the bottom side of the map with Ruler in a vanishing act is going to continue to happen.
Poor guy. He loves his Varus, but one of the big things about Varus, you know, you compare him to other AD carries that are popular. Kalista, obviously banned out. The Tristana,
Look
the Tristana that's available. They have escapes. Varus does not.
Look at the range at which he engages. There is no other support that can do that. He engages from the second brush, going onto Xayah, then onto Varus with a flash. Oh, comboed right on the center with Galio ultimate. The Orianna is nasty with Rakan, but so is Galio.
Yeah, we're getting a full serving of that tonight. We're getting the back-to-back episodes of Galio and Rakan, the two buddies doing silly stuff down in Summoner's Rift in the bottom lane.
Zai is like, you spend all your time with your friends. What about me?
Poor Xayah, man. Although she's been a nice, you know, she's trying to be part of the duo. She's like, oh, you know, I'm doing a bit of damage, but actually in the end of it, it's really just the BDD Gorilla show.
No, she actually did a lot. She kept them in place with the Feather Storm, so she got to participate. But the flashiness does get attributed to BDD and Gorilla.
Yeah. Either way, the comp is working for them. It is a tie game, if you will. 28.2 to 28.2 in terms of the gold. No dragons have gone either way. And so Longzhu, they're winning outside of the turrets. If they can get this top turret, they will take the lead. And you can see that's what they're pushing for here. The Rift Herald is still available with about 2.5 minutes left. We'll see if they get aggressive and try to take both the Rift Herald and the top turret.
I think there's two little lane advantages for these teams to get a Rift Herald as easily as we have seen in many other series here at the fight for first place. It's unlikely that the Rift Herald will go down without a fight, so the teams don't just start it.
You can tell that they're hanging around, not for the Rift Herald, but to stop the defense of the top tier 1. So essentially the bodyguards saying that is our turret, and down it will go. So this time Longzhu will take the lead, about 600 gold ahead. We'll see if they can set up any more plays.
That bodyguard looks more like extortion on the side of Longzhu, just walking up there. Either you give us this, or else.
They've got a couple of guys that they know, you know.
Yeah, one's made out of stone and the other one's a fat drunk.
Sounds more like a Game of Thrones legend more than anything. They say he's made of stone, but actually it's true. The Galio.
Is that a spoiler?
No, it's not a spoiler. It could have some relation to stuff that's going on, but I won't say anything else. But we are hitting that lull as the turrets have gone down, 2 for each team. The Cloud Drake is a Cloud Drake, after all. And so Samsung will start it. You can see pings immediately going for Rift Herald. Samsung, I'm not sure they want to take this trade, though.
They've already committed to it, so I guess you're trading a Cloud Drake at 20 minutes for a Rift Herald that is likely going to result in a Tier 1 for Longzhu. And losing that Tier 1 in mid, yeah, is a very big deal. So I'm just as lost as you are in why this decision came through to go for that Dragon right now. They will get the bottom Tier 1, but this Kha'Zix is now super strong with a Herald himself and a Duskblade already.
Khan 1v3 is trying to stop this. It looks like a 1v3, but actually it's a 3v3. As Khan, he's looking for that, and Samsung actually engages. They burn a lot. Here comes Cuz from the left side. A couple of low members, but they're not going to engage. They're not going to force it here. Gonna take the safe route out. They don't want to go too far. They didn't have eyes on Crown, it seemed. So they let that one go. They saved the turret, which is nice.
Well, the commitment from Longzhu is a lot harder than it seems. Remember that the times that they have engaged are at the hands of Gorilla, going for some sick engages onto the bottom lane. But we have yet to see an engage start from Khan, just going crazy by himself, comboing up with Galio. Remember that they need a member in the middle of it all for the heroic entrance to actually hit a knock-up to put Galio in a proper position. Otherwise, he's just a walking beefcake, taking up damage and threatening to taunt with flash.
Prey and Gorilla, the duo return to the bot lane. So not putting their focus in the mid lane to help out with that kind of push. And you can see Cuz is making his way over as well. Just Cuz and Gorilla together, taking out as much damage as possible. The Duskblade gonna help out, as well as the scanner from Gorilla. Cuz also has a scanner, but he's got the Rift Herald right now, so he can't use it. And they're looking to bait Samsung into defense. You can see 5 members of Longzhu hanging around this mid lane. Gorilla looking for that flank, and they're just saying, hey guys, we're looking to take your mid turret. What are you gonna do about it?
They want to kill Crown so badly.
Okay, they hop in onto Ambition. Oh, nice shockwave. Prey forced to throw out that Feather Storm, and you can see that because of that, they don't necessarily have the strongest push in mid lane. They're going to keep that mid turret alive, Samsung, because Prey got chunked so much before the fight even began.
It's a good shockwave to defend that one, and so the Rift Herald, while it looked like it would have been the end of the world, or at least for the pressure for Samsung right now, ends up being nothing more than a huge dent to the turret, but it still stays alive. So working, but barely there.
Okay, they're going 2v1 onto Cuvée. Should be able to get this kill. Let's see if he can hop away. The answer is no, but immediately, this is what I was saying. It's going to be 3v4 up in the top side. We'll see if Samsung can do it. They're taking a lot of damage. There's the engage, the heroic entrance to Crown. He disappears. Where did he go? And here's Corday getting flashed on by BDD, looking for that kill. Ambition, though, is going to turn it around by himself, but down goes Corday. Khan is alone, but BDD, the big stone man, joining his buddy, looking for more kills. Gonna get that stun. Not sure they can get any more. They're looking for Ruler here, but Khan himself is pretty low. Gorilla coming all the way from bottom side, trying to make another play. This guy has been all over the map tonight, and now they're going to be able to pick up Ruler here, it looks like. Gorilla, not enough damage, though. Himself, Khan, again, he's so tanky. He's going to come back, and Ruler goes down. Khan survives. Ambition is alone now. What can they do? Can they save him? The answer is no. Cuvée by himself looking to go 1v3. Can he do it? Okay, bit of damage onto Khan. Still on the chase. That boomerang is going to hit, but he can't chase him anymore. BDD basically doesn't take any damage. Cuvée is going to get into that Mega Gnar form, but they're looking to turn this one around. Khan is sticking around. Corday going to help out, but not too much. And in the end, Longzhu come out way ahead.
Samsung's decision-making is just not there this game. The response to the 1v2 kill onto Gnar should not have been to start Baron. They do not have the composition nor the items to do that right now. Hell, they even committed Stranglethorns to this one at the end of the fight. So watch, they don't have enough tools to tank it. And Zyra ultimate, out of all things, that makes no sense. And they pop Crown immediately. They're lucky that Varus is able to survive for a little bit longer, that they take out Kha'Zix, and we just go on a wild goose chase at the end that no way we're going to get to see all of this happen right now because it was just so bonkers. Okay, well, we're going to get to see part of it.
You never know. That's the fun of it, right?
Life is like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get. And we never know what we're going to get with Samsung's games these days, where sometimes they look like they're on top of the world when it comes to macro, and other times just doing the most random crap. Starting that Baron, the correct play would have been to stay in mid, to push out that lane, to get some farm. It was just simply Q-base overextension in that play, so they felt like they had to go for more, and they get punished heavily for it, and now what was an even game is a 4,000 gold lead for Longzhu.
They're ahead in this one, no doubt. But remember game one where Longzhu made mistakes of their own and they kind of threw it back into the hands of Samsung. We'll see if Samsung can look for more plays like that. But here comes Cuz, looking for that isolated damage onto Ambition, one of the tankiest members, doing what he can, but there's the engage. They got Isaiah working on that Jarvan. It's not quite enough. That Shockwave is going to be dodged by everyone. There's the cast. They get Ruler into the main fight, and down he goes. The heroic entrance. Gorilla is going to go down in the end, and now BDD is all by himself. Ambition, though, is low, and they do take him out. Prey on the run. It looks like he should be able to survive for now. And here's Cuz. Is going to get crowned. Can he get another one? Looking for the resets. He gets Cuvée. And that is going to be 4 kills on the side of Longzhu this time around.
And that's going to be an inhibitor for them as well. They are so strong right now. And did you see how much damage that Kha'Zix does? Orianna was deleted.
Wow. Okay. Wow, they're going for the Baron here instead of the inhibitor. They've calculated the amount of time this takes. Prey's pretty low.
It's wise. It's really wise, because if you go for the inhibitor, you're not going to have enough time to recall and defend the Baron at the same time, which would give Samsung the advantage in terms of tempo. By cracking the base turret, making sure that there is an open inhibitor, you can guarantee yourself to be able to dive or pressure the inhibitor, even if Samsung were to have a lot of wave clear. So they're avoiding a situation like game one, where the game was stalled out by wave clear inside the base. So we're going to look at it again. They go onto Ambition because he's already committed to flag and drag. But when Rakan comes through and he's able to dash out, Samsung thinks, okay, everything's all right. But no, the cast from Khan was beautiful. Straight into the taunt, and the rest is history. The damage that Kha'Zix comes through. Sure, Rakan dies, but just look at Kha'Zix and Orianna. Watch Crown, and now watch Cuz go around the backside. And a splat.
Oh, baby.
It's like...
That's a Kha'Zix wet dream, man. An Orianna by herself, and you just hop on in.
Oh, man. Orianna turning into Kafka, sees herself as the bug getting squashed. You know that reference? That's a pretty obscure one, I suppose, at least for the genre that we're in. All right, okay.
I'll have to let that one slide. But yeah, man, Cuz even picks up a Youmuu's now. He's going full attack. He's counting on the tankiness of Khan and BDD and saying, I will be the follow-up damage. I said it before in the draft, and perhaps I was wrong, but Prey is not the only damage in this one. And Ruler, he gets caught again! He flashes away, but he gets knocked up. Here's Cuz, almost getting Core JJ. Good release there. The Shockwave will take him away, and they can't take any members of Samsung down. They are pretty low. Prey getting low himself. They're looking for the counter engage. Can't quite get it. Prey's still alive with his feathers. They want this inhibitor, and they want out. They will get the inhibitor. It looks like they will get out for now, as Samsung too low to follow up.
They're lucky that they had flashes available and that Cuz got trapped in the Stranglethorns. Otherwise, that could have been the end of the game for Samsung, but they still get that inhibitor. That's the difference that it makes when you crack that one down. Had that turret not been down earlier, I don't think Longzhu could have been able to pull the trigger as easily as they did on that dive. And they are so fast on these dives. They just don't have enough time to respond to what is being thrown at them and how quickly these abilities are comboed onto the squishy carries of Samsung. Just look at this. Whoa. Righteous Glory as well to make him even faster. Wow. The fact that Ruler lived was solely based on the Stranglethorns from Core JJ. because it stopped not just BDD's Justice Punch, but Kha'Zix's dead in his tracks.
There's a reason that the Zyra gets banned away from CoreJJ from time to time. He was having trouble with his Stranglethorns against the Baron in a wonky bit of a usage there against the objective, but this time it works out for him as he uses it on the correct targets.
It works out, but it's so counter meta. Right now, the supports are all about the roaming supports. Alistar, Rakan, Threshes, and Brahms. That's what we see. And so Zyra is a more old school pick that just doesn't quite fit these compositions, but can work. She just has to be played immaculately. Unfortunately, that's not what we're seeing. It's a 1-3-4 Zyra that hasn't had a tremendous impact. She was just fodder alongside Ruler in the laning phase, and we're going to need to see a lot better ultimates for the rest of this game in order for Samsung to have a fighting chance here, because for the next fight, Ruler's not going to have his ultimate available, and we've seen how quickly they can kill Crown, so they need to be on top of things if they want to have a chance.
They're committing to Kyve here. Meanwhile, look at Crown, he's alone because not going to go for it. He actually eats a ton of damage on the retreat, so a bit of miscommunication as Khan by himself against Kyve, and because he sees some tasty bait, but actually eats a bit of damage himself.
I think he was salivating there, looking at Crown. It's like, ooh, I could go here, but I'm not going to be able to cross over the wall, so if I commit to a jump, I might die. I'll probably have to burn my flash on this one. And most of all, a kill there would not have gotten anything. They don't have pressure in the waves, so by the time that they would have set up to take down another base turret, Orianna would have respawned. So it's just not worth it. You have to calculate what you're truly getting. A kill isn't just about the gold. It's about getting somebody off the map and taking the base of the opponent when they are down.
Yeah, which is why had they caught perhaps Kyve in the bottom side as a full, 5-man unit, maybe it would have been good then, as they would have had an opportunity to push one of the lanes, but hopping over a wall to get an Orianna when you're not even sure if you can when she has all of her summoners, probably not a good idea. So I like the idea of Khan a little bit better. You can see he's just chilling down here in the bottom lane, pushing by himself. They have BDD in the mid lane, just constantly being a nuisance. Oh, they catch Cuz, but no follow-up, and here's Gorilla. Doesn't look like they can get anything, though. They're going to get onto Ruler, though, in the back, but disappearing is Cuz. CoreJJ going to eat it, too. Ruler still on the run. They got to get him. Look at where he's going. He's all the way on the opposite side of the wall. They are going to zone him out for now. The turret goes down. Gorilla getting pretty low. Prey. He does have the help of BDD coming in from behind, but it's BDD against 3, and Prey needs to get in position. They force that flash away, at least for now. What a wonky fight that one was. Ruler is still alive. He comes around the total opposite side.
It's the kid that runs away. It's like, all right, I can't eat by myself. I got to come back home. But that was so well played, though. Even though it looks funny for Ruler, the fact that he utilizes the wall to make sure, or the base gate to get out of that position is great awareness from him. And sure, the engage onto Cuz is questionable at best, but when Cuz jumps in rather, he's jumping into 2 people, and that is just a lack of respect for what Samsung can do, and nobody else can follow up. There's no isolated targets. It's a lot less likely to kill anybody that quickly and get out, and you can see how valuable is Cuz being played in Samsung's eyes, as even Shockwave got committed to that one. Here comes a teleport out of Khan.
They want this taunt. They get onto Crown, and they take him out. He had no cleanse. And immediately, this is going to turn into a wonky one, although that cast was awful. It's going to get everybody on the side of Samsung to safety. But they do take out Crown for 50 seconds with the Baron coming up, so Longzhu still should be happy.
They did not foresee that Ruler was going to burn his flash immediately, so they had no vision. Up until the very end, it was only Khan that was flashing over, and it looks like they're going to go for a trade, although I don't think Longzhu is quite happy about giving a trade, or giving their position of 1,000, 10,000, or 12,000 gold up, rather.
Ambition's not here, and so Khan is like, okay, if you want to burn it down now, I guess I'll just smite it away from you. Or actually, never mind, Khan is top lane. Sorry about that, but still, the threat of the Gragas coming on in and stopping that push is quite nice. So they look to get both of these objectives. Both the Baron and the Infernal Drake will go over to Longzhu. And guys, we're 13,000 gold ahead for Longzhu. They fell down like a house of cards against KT, but looking quite strong against Samsung.
And they have so much control in these games. They're so assertive with the way they want to take these fights. Every single fight has been them starting it and Samsung like, oh God, we're not ready.
The Varus so far has been getting jumped upon. If he doesn't have his flash, even sometimes when he does have his flash, Gorilla's just too quick that Rakan Engage is like, okay, you want to play Varus into this? Well, I guess I'll see you later.
And Orianna as well. They both have had major targets on their backs that Longzhu continues to shoot for.
So far, they've had pretty good aim, you could say. Things are going quite well. Well, they do catch Gorilla here. You can see how tanky he is, but the follow-up, that heroic entrance keeps him alive with a two-man knock-up, and that was Samsung's one chance. Some vision is going to be caught out here. Gorilla's low, but he doesn't get taken out, and so Samsung has a unit getting pretty low, and Longzhu with the Baron, they're looking to take this inhibitor now.
God, that was the support. That was 5 people of Samsung, and they were unable to take down the support.
We have gone this far in this game.
So many shields and heals and damage reduction tools.
We're seeing the strength of Galio. The early game, the setup with Rakan in the bottom lane was unmatched. There was nothing that Samsung could do to really except try to avoid it, and it didn't work. And in the late game, it keeps even the weakest of targets, although Gorilla's getting decently tanky on this engaging Rakan. Just having that heroic entrance alongside everything else keeps him alive for ridiculous amounts of times when you're this far ahead.
I want to see Gargoyle Stoneplate Rakan at some point.
Do it. You can definitely stick in the fight for the entirety of it, no doubt, but you have to sub it for another item. Either way, that's a conversation for another time as the third inhibitor is going down and Samsung is getting absolutely squashed like a bug in game 2. It is not close, guys. Longzhu is killing him right now.
Flash.
Here comes Gorilla looking for Ruler. That heroic entrance is going to knock him up. The bouncy house as Ruler is going to stay alive. Cuz trying to get on top of him will go down, but it looks like Juve will as well as Core JJ, and that should be it. Ambition can't fight 1v3. The rest, the carries of Samsung, they can't do it alone. The Nexus turrets go down, and Longzhu are looking to take the 2-0 victory over Samsung. They've done it. They're going to Worlds. Although, I'll hold my breath. The minions are coming in here. BDD, he's focusing it down. Trying to get the kills. He gets them both. And the Nexus, the final finish there. The camera finish down to the wire. And BDD does it. Longzhu, they are going to the finals with that seed. And they will see perhaps Samsung or someone else. They should be excited after winning this one.
That was the most picture-perfect ending. A metaphor for the game. BDD jumps straight into Ruler, pops him in the dome as the Nexus explodes to win Yin. So a great series from Longzhu, a well-earned first place of regular season. It's still not over for them. One more match is what awaits their first seed into the World Championship. So they still have a tough opponent to face, but they just obliterated Samsung. It wasn't close at no point in game 1 nor game 2.
When it comes down to it, as you're saying, they need to win this summer LCK in order to make it through. But they proved a lot here. They said, at least we can take out Samsung. The really interesting finals for me now is not SKT, it's not Samsung, it's not a freak. It's KT versus Longzhu, the rematch in the finals. That will be the perfect finals for me. And you can see incredibly disappointed faces on the side of Samsung. Crown, not too happy about the team's performance so far.
No, it cannot be. And speaking of that bracket, it's going to be SKT versus a frigate. Then they move on to Samsung. Then they move on to KT. Oh, that's always the most exciting. I love that format, the King of the Hill. But a little bit of overheating. It is hot as hell here in Korea. And especially now after we got to see just how well Longzhu played. And Gorilla's Rakan, you got to give him MVP again.
Double MVP.
So,
I 100% agree.
My God. That was insane. He was so quick. It was so well coordinated. A thing of beauty.
He's a monster.
He's like, Alistar what? No.
And in the end of it all, a defeated Crown will not have the crown on his head for now. He's got to get through the winner of SKT versus Afrika, and then he's got to win that and defeat KT, and then get another shot in the finals if he wants to win Worlds. Or rather, win LCK Summer and get to Worlds. But let's take a look at some of the replays and see how Game 2 finished out.
Some mechanical fallacies here from Samsung prevent them from taking out Gorilla. And in the end, his happy feet keep him alive. So the case for him making MVP extends itself as the rest of the team collapses. And he basically, you could argue, started all that by getting caught out and earns his team a kill in return. And then this is where it all started looking sick. That engage, just look at that range. What is that? That is not, that should not be allowed.
And then the rotation too. Even from these replays, this isn't even the MVP replays, but I'm like, I don't know. I think Gorilla's got it, right? The rotations that come up, I don't know whose call it was. Was a team effort in the end, but you can see some of the mistakes of Samsung too, trying to rush the Baron after the duo kill down on the bottom side of the Lovers duo against Kive. Didn't work out.
And I think there's plenty of members, however, on the side of Longzhu that you could also give MVP to. BDD had a great game. No, but yeah, I think Gorilla and BDD, they comboed it together. It was all them two. It was those two that made it all happen. You see them together here. They were doing it in the bottom side of the map, and they engaged. This is the meta. You got to have backline access. It doesn't matter how tanky you are if you're not hitting valuable targets and threatening them to position themselves poorly. And so with their combination at hand, Samsung never saw the light.
You can see actually the Justice Punch of BDD allows him to dodge the Shockwave. Not sure if that was on purpose, but that was pretty legit, I have to say. I'd like to get a slow motion zoom in on that, but we've already passed that point. And it's pretty cool when Cuz, the Predator, the Jaws, comes on in from the stealth and just says, "Goodbye, Orianna."
She just gets stomped like a Oompa Loompa in that one.
Yes, yes he did, and there's the result.
Sorry. I mean the things in Mario that you stomp on. That's
the Goombas. Yeah, there you go.
Oompa Loompa, same thing.
So this game 2 was definitely even more of a stomp for the side of Longzhu compared to game 1, as there was no comeback opportunity for Samsung. There was no light of day, as the Orianna and the Varus, who had no escapes, could not escape the deadly engage of the side of Longzhu. Everybody that could jump in and get into the mix was too much for them to handle. So guys, I hope you're tuning in. Let's hear what our MVPs have to say. I'll throw you over to Jisung.
It's on your translator, and here we have Gorilla for the MVP interview. So you made it to the first place. How do you feel? From the last defeat, I was really sad and gloomy, but I think this is a new start, so I'm gonna try harder. So you're making it to the finals in 4 years in a row. How you do it all the time? Yeah, I made it to the finals all 4 years, and I also had my first win of the season last year, so I also want to have a great result for this year. I think you showed up all you got this game. Weren't you really nervous? I get nervous before all games, but for today, I actually tried to make our new members, Cuz and Khan, not to get nervous too much, so I try to make them feel comfortable. Well, as well as got into the gaming booth, I could feel the victory from the SKT, so I kind of felt lucky. But actually, Peanut wanted us to lose, but I'm really sorry to tell him that we won the game. And the former Rocks players made it to the postseason. Is there anything you want to say for your ex-teammates? I'm really happy that we all made it. And right now, I'm on the top of the series, so I'll be waiting for their competition. Then let's check out the MVP for the last set.
The MVP of game number 2 is, in fact, BDD, continuing to add to his ridiculous KDA, not taking a single death and following up on all the big engages.
6-0-10. How grotesque. And the deletion of multiple members of Samsung just added to that. Holy moly. KDA God with the champion that does so much for everybody, helping out his allies, helping out himself to a tasty Zyra, and another great engage here with a flash taunt onto Crown that he does die. It's just not rated, not suitable for us, guys. It is a PG-12 show.
You're the MVP first point, and you made it to the finals. How do you feel? I'm just really happy right now. Your Galio didn't make any deaths. Well, did you expect to be an MVP? Well, during the game, I cannot make expectations on MVPs quite actually, so I'm really surprised right now. Were you aware about the MVP points? Well, I wasn't really caring a lot for the MVP points. Then how did you feel, Gorilla, as a teammate? It's been a year since we've been playing together, since last year, the summer. I'm really happy to see him improving really fast. And I'm expecting more from him, so I'm really happy to be his teammate. Then which moment did you feel that you're going to the finals? Well, every team fight, I could feel the finals coming. Well, in the team fight with Gragas at the enemy blue side, we had great aggro control, so I thought we were gonna win. Then tell us about the top Gragas. It wasn't really special about it, just Khan plays Gragas really well. So we trusted in him. Then the last question maybe, which team do you want for your final opponent? I personally prefer Samsung or Africa because I think SKT and KT are really strong in the big series, so and also Samsung and Africa had a lot of hard times, so I really want them to come up to the finals. Well, I actually don't care which team comes, but actually we lost against KT, so maybe every team except KT. So you guys are showing your best performance for the season. How do you look back the whole season? Yeah, I also agree that this was my most important season, so I practiced and prepared a lot. I think our team had a lot of hard times from the spring season, and we made it really hard to make to the finals, so we're going to prepare really hard for the finals and also try our best for the Worlds. Thank you. Is there anything you want to say to your fans? Thank you for cheering for the last match for the season. and I really want to show my best performance at the finals. Thank you. And this was the end of the interview. Thank you for listening.
Thank you, Ji-sun, for helping out with that one. And it was nice to hear from both these guys who they wanted to face up against. And I would agree with them, right? It's pretty obvious when it comes to the way that Longzhu has played against certain teams, right? They would want to go up against Samsung. They would want to go up against Afrika, but I have a feeling it's going to be KT. That's my personal prediction. And of course, with that win, Longzhu is going to take the first place, and they will await one of 4 other teams in the finals.
They take first place, but that #1 does not mean that they are that far away from the competition. KT with the exact same win-loss and only 1 game difference with Samsung and SK Telecom T1. So such a tight race for the top of the table in the LCK, something that we haven't seen pretty much ever, especially in these top 4 contenders. So the addition of Longzhu shaking things up and making things interesting. The order that initially was those 3 teams has now been altered, perhaps forever.
Forever, question mark? Yeah, I think so. As long as Longzhu stays around and all these teams keep their...
Team Liquid can't buy them. Not for sale.
Yes, they're ours. Don't take them. They stay in Korea. But yeah, I mean, it's very cool to see Longzhu on top as a team. They totally turned it around from spring. They brought a new roster, BDD, Cuz, and Khan, to replace the others. And man, it's just been one hell of a ride for the entirety of LCK summer. Once they came in and started bopping big teams, we were like, what the hell? This team is actually really good. So guys, we're going to take a look at the postseason. The first one is going to be SKT versus Afrika. That will be on Saturday, casted by OGN. The one match that you and I will do, Crumbs, will be the playoff round 1. It will be Samsung versus the winner of SKT and Afrika over at the Nexon Arena on Tuesday. Then, of course, the following Saturday, August 19th, it will be KT Rolster against the winner of that. And then Longzhu, they're waiting at the top on the following Saturday, August 26th.
Oh, I always get overwhelmed with joy when it comes down to playoffs. Tournament brackets are what I love about competition, and when we finally get to see it, the expectations that you build up are so many. There's stories for all these teams coming into it when you look at their history. Let's say that Afrika loses in that matchup, we're going to get a rematch of the World's Finals. I mean, that's already awesome in and of itself.
On a Tuesday.
Yeah, on a Tuesday out of all days. Or if Afrika wins, then it's going to be Afrika the first time they actually do something in playoffs.
Okay, we got a little bit of time. I think Afrika's going to beat SKT. And then I think Samsung's going to beat Afrika. And then I think KT is going to beat Samsung. And then I think Longzhu will fall to KT as KT takes LCK Summer. What do you think?
I'm going to disagree with most of that.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I think SKT would beat Afrika.
Okay.
SKT would beat Samsung.
All right.
SKT would beat KT. And probably Longzhu as well.
You have a lot of faith in the team that lost to BBQ tonight.
You remember?
I mean, I'm just saying.
But remember what BDD and Gorilla mentioned. These teams don't mess around when it comes to best of 5s. Best of 3s is one thing. This is the real deal. They've got a lot of time to prepare for this. They can shake things up. And historically, if you take those elements into account, that would be the most likely scenario.
It is the playoff buff. I would have to agree with you. And it really is going to come down to whether or not those teams that don't have the buff can step up to the plate and perhaps perform on playoffs. So thanks once again for finishing out LCK Summer with us, guys. We'll see you on that Tuesday. And make sure to check out all the playoffs.